What is heritability? It refers to the proportion of observed variations in particular traits, such as height or intelligence, that can be attributed to genetic factors within a specific population. A high heritability indicates that a significant portion of the variability in a trait is due to genetic factors, while a low heritability suggests that environmental factors play a larger role. It is essential to note that heritability is specific to a particular population and does not indicate the degree to which an individual's traits are determined by genetics. Importance of understanding heritability. Genetic understanding. It helps researchers and scientists gauge the extent to which genetic factors influence the variation in a particular trait. Selective breeding. In fields like agricultural and animal breeding, knowledge of heritability is used to selectively breed individuals with desirable traits. This can enhance characteristics in future generations. Medical research. In medicine, heritability studies are important for investigating the genetic basis of disease and disorders. Identifying heritable factors can contribute to the development of targeted treatments and interventions. Genetic factors. Genetic influence. Genetic factors play a crucial role in influencing various traits and characteristics in individuals. These factors are inherited from one's parents and are encoded in the DNA. Here are some key points about genetic influence. DNA and genes. The genetic code is stored in the DNA. Genes are specific segments of DNA that code for particular traits or functions. Inheritance. The inheritance occurs through the combination of genetic material from both mother and the father during reproduction. Variation and alleles. Genetic variation arises from differences in the sequence of DNA. Alleles are different forms of a gene that can lead to variations in traits. Mendelian inheritance. The principles of Mendelian genetics describe how certain traits are inherited according to patterns of dominance, recessiveness, and segregation of alleles. Genetic disorders, mutation or abnormalities in specific genes can lead to genetic disorders. Genetic expression. The way genes are expressed can be influenced by environmental factors and sometimes influence the observable traits in an individual. Role of DNA and genes. DNA and genes are integral to the inheritance, developments, and functioning of living organisms. Their roles extend from molecular level, where they code for proteins, to broader processes like evolution and adaptation. Some roles of DNA and genes are genetic code. DNA serves as the genetic code that contains instructions for the development, functioning, and maintenance of all living organisms. Genes, which are segments of DNA, encode specific information that determines traits and characteristics. Protein synthesis. Genes provide the instructions for synthesizing proteins, which are essential molecules for the structure and function of cells. The processes of protein synthesis involves transcription of DNA into RNA and translation of RNA to proteins. Cellular processes. DNA regulates various cellular processes including cell division, growth, and differentiation. Response to environmental signals. Genes can be activated or suppressed in response to environmental signals. This adaptability allows organisms to respond to change in their environment and adjust their biological processes accordingly.
Genetic variation within population. Genetic variation within population is a natural and dynamic phenomenon that influence and evolutionary potential of species. Understanding and preserving genetics diversity are essential for long-term variability and adaptability of population. Here are some key points about genetics variation within population. Allelic variation, individuals within a population may have different alleles for a particular gun, contributing to diversity. Mutation, they can occur spontaneously or be induced by environmental factors leading to new alleles and potentially novel traits. Recombination, this creates new combination of alleles in offspring, increasing genetic diversity. Gene flows, they can introduce new alleles to a population and reduce genetic differences between populations. Natural selection. Natural selection acts on existing genetics variation. Traits that confer a survival or reproductive advantage are more likely to be passed onto the next generation, influencing the frequency of certain alleles in a population over time. Adaptation, it provides the new material for natural selection to act upon, allowing population to evolve in response to selective pressure. Conservation, reduced genetics diversity can increase the risk of extinction as it limits the ability of population to adapt to environmental change or resist diseases. Impact of environmental heritability. Environmental factors can have a significant impact on the expression of genetic traits. These are ways in which environment can influence heritability. Gene expression. This can have a profound impact on the heritability of traits as environmental influence can alter the way genes are read and interpreted. Gene environment interaction. Some genetic traits may be more or less influential depending on the specific environmental condition. Development, developmental plasticity. This suggests that environmental influence during the developmental stage can shape the trajectory of an individual's traits and may impact the heritability of these traits. Non-genetic influence. There are several environmental factors beyond genetic consideration that contribute to the complexity of human health and behavior. The following are examples of non-genetic influence or environmental factors. Nutrition, the availability and quality of nutrition can have a significant impact on various, various aspects of health and development. Exposure to toxin and pollution. Environmental factors such as exposure to pollutant chemicals or toxin can have adverse adverse effect on health. These environmental exposure are not directly included in the genetic material but can strongly influence health outcomes. Social environment and stress. Social factors including socioeconomic status, family structure, and access to education can significantly impact an individual's well-being. These influences are external to an individual's genetics makeup but play a crucial role in shaping their overall health and development.
Methods of heritability measurements. Gene studies are common methods used to estimate the heritability of a trait, helping researchers understand the contribution of genetic factors to the observed variability in that trait within a population. Additionally, heritability estimates from twin studies provide information about the proportion of variability in a trait due to genetic factors within a specific population, but do not specify which genes are involved or how they interact with the environment. Adoption studies, like twin studies, contribute valuable insights into the relative roles of genetics and environment in the expression of traits. Adoption studies are another method used to estimate heritability by examining the similarities between adopted individuals and their adoptive and biological families. These studies are particularly valuable for disentangling genetic and environmental influences in traits. Family studies. These methods collectively contribute to unraveling the complex interplay between genetic and environmental factors in the expression of traits within populations. These methods are used to estimate heritability by examining the resemblance of family members with varying degrees of genetic relatedness. Molecular genetic approaches. These provide a more detailed understanding of the biological mechanisms underlying heritability. These methods aim to identify and understand the role of individual genes and their variations in the expression of particular characteristics. Future directions of heritability. Advances. The field of genetic research is dynamic. The following are some of the advances in genetic research. Genomic medicine initiatives. These initiatives contribute to a better understanding of the genetic basis of various conditions and the development of more inclusive healthcare strategies. Genomic data integration. This integrative approach allows for a more comprehensive understanding of biological processes and disease mechanisms. Single cell sequencing. This enables the study of individual cells, providing insights to cellular diversity heterogeneity. Genome editing for therapies. Researchers have been exploring the potential to treat genetic disorders by directly editing the DNA responsible for the condition. The integration of genetics into healthcare. Genomic medicine has transformative implications for personalized and precision healthcare. As genomic technology continues to advance, the integration of genetics into healthcare is expected to expand, offering more precise, individualized, and effective approaches to prevention, diagnosis, and treatment. Emerging technologies and their impact. These technologies have the potential to deepen our understanding of genetic factors, enhance precision in healthcare, and contribute to advancements in various fields. Genetic research has witnessed significant advancements, and emerging technologies are reshaping our understanding of heritability and have the potential to revolutionize healthcare.